All right, so we are going to go ahead and kick this thing off. Following A2, Eli Tomac taking the win in the 450 class. As you guys can tell, I'm not Daniel Blair. I'm also not as cool or funny, so sorry. We'll just start things with Eli Tomac. So Eli breaking a 2-year win this week for the 450 Yamaha in Supercross. For you, how meaningful was that?
I mean, that doesn't really matter to me. It's just cool that moving to this new team, it was a little bit of a gamble, and it totally paid off. There's no questions now that we can get it done. So we've just been improving every race. I've been getting better every main event, working on weaknesses, and it's paying off on the weekend. So just really, really good, really great group of people behind me. And we haven't stopped getting better. So really cool for us to get this first win.
So I will go ahead and turn it over to, I was told to start with Jason Wygand, even though his hand isn't up. Jason?
Yeah, good move. Thanks for keeping the tradition alive there, Kristen.
Anytime.
Eli, I'll go to you. You had the points lead after round 3, but did you still feel there was something left on the table, and were there things you did during the week? And then how big of a boost is it to get the win, especially Sexton and Anderson have been going fast, and you're able to pull away tonight. So is this a big step even compared to last week?
It was a big step forward. I mean, because last week they were faster than me, hands down. So, I got passed by Jason, and then, Chase just rode away from me. So, I had to go to work again, try to find weaknesses, be better, get better, and felt good tonight.
All right, so let's move over to Brad Gerhardt.
Thank you, Kristen. Brad Gebhardt, Big MX Radio. This one's for Jason Anderson. Jason, you looked like you were very comfortable pushing the limits on the bike today, but the track seemed to get a little bit more treacherous, especially in the main event. What adjustments did you have to make mid-main event when the traction started to go away a little bit there?
Yeah, to be honest, all day I've kind of felt like I wasn't on it, but to be honest, in the main, for a few laps there, I was riding really good, and I felt like I was the whoop section. I feel like it wasn't necessarily like a full blown whoop section. It was kind of like a little rhythm, because we'd blitz and then hop out at the end. And to be honest, I would try and catch onto lines and stuff like that, but the track had a couple edges that could catch you off guard. And then in the rhythms too, there was some smooth lines and there were some ruts, and if you landed in them, sometimes your bike could go either way. And in the heat race, that happened to me. I jumped off the track and I went from 3rd to 7th in the heat race. So the track was just a little sneaky, I guess you could say.
Can you take us through that pass on Kenny real quick?
Yeah. So I went on the inside of him in the sand, and I was just I went for it, and it ended up not so well. But I don't want to be that guy, but I'm that guy tonight. So I got to maybe not look at the Instagram too much because we're gonna be getting some heat.
Fair enough. Well, thanks, Kristen. Thank you.
All
Jason.
right, let's head over to Michael. Michael, go ahead.
Thank you, Kristen. Michael Antonovich with Swap Moto Live. Chase, this is for you. At Anaheim 1, you guys did pretty well with the bike, but you guys have been searching for some things since then. You rode press day today, but the track was completely different than what the dry hard pack yesterday was. How much has the bike changed, and how much have you felt it come around in these very 3 different Anaheim riding conditions?
Yeah, we've changed quite a bit from, triple clamps to frame patches to shocks and forks. So we've kind of been searching. I felt really good last weekend in the whoops, and then this weekend, like Jason said, I feel like they were really unpredictable. They had a lot of edges, and it was kind of playing with my front end a little bit. So I felt a little bit sketchy in those, but I feel like we managed it well. I didn't have any huge moments in them, so that was good. And just didn't want to make any mistakes. So it's an ongoing process with the bike. Obviously, I don't want to be super picky because no bike's perfect. So just got to get better. Eli and Jason riding really good, and I put a good effort in. I stalled it, but I only lost probably a second or so. So, yeah, those guys are riding really well, and I just got to get better for next weekend.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Jamie?
This is for Jason. Jason, on the podium, you said that you've been reading things are wrong all day, everything wrong all day. we saw the issues in the heat race where it looked like a few mistakes in some corners. Was that something to do just you mentally, you think, or bike, or all of the above, or do you even want to talk about it?
Oh no, it's just a normal thing. I'm just human. I was a little bit off today. Like last weekend in San Diego, I was just firing, and obviously the result didn't come or whatever, but it is what it is. And then this weekend, honestly, it was me even qualifying heat race. I was trying my hardest, and it just wasn't coming around, So it had nothing to do with the bike or anything. I just brain was fried.
All right. Well, just from my opinion, I don't think you were to blame for the Kenny thing personally. So yeah, watch that video back. But thanks.
Thanks.
Good quote there. Okay, Trent, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Kristen. Trent, at a limited show. I'm going to go to Chase. Chase, everyone talks about bike setup and that sort of stuff. I want to ask you about your incident over the wall midway through that. That looked like it was pretty scary moment for you. You managed to pull it off. Just run us through the thoughts process when that front end was diving off that wall.
I've gotten asked that question probably 25 times since the main event. I leaned into the rut and the wall had a little bit of a knuckle in it on the outside, and I just caught it, and I honestly just scrubbed it really hard on accident, and luckily I didn't catch a foot peg or anything. But at one point I kind of felt like I had it saved the whole time, but it got a little hairy there for sure. I think my feet came off, and I ended up actually getting the rest of the rhythm section after that, which I was very surprised. But it was definitely a scary moment. It took me a lap or so to get back moving after that.
Yeah, for sure. Good job tonight.
Thanks.
Justin.
Thanks. Yeah, Justin Schuler with Kicking the Tires. This question is really for all three of you guys. 4 rounds in, and this point battle is still really tight. Did you guys expect it to be this tight, or did you guys expect anything different? Just kind of tell me about these first 4 rounds.
I guess I'll go first, but I would say as far as the first rounds go and everything, the class it's very deep, and I feel like throughout my career, you kind of realize that some guys, rise to the top as you get 3, 5, and then even once you get to Daytona, you even see it separate more. So it's tough because I feel like it could be anyone's year sometimes, and right now it's deep, so it doesn't surprise me that it's this close.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say the same thing as Jason. Is a lot of times by round 3 or 4, you really start figuring out who the guys are, but it really the first 3, right? We're just a total toss-up this year, so it's by far the deepest field that we've had.
Yeah, pretty much same thing as them. I just think it has to do with the deep field, and on any given night, you could have one guy that's feeling really good, and it could flip-flop really easy. So I think it just has to go with just the competition this year and the years past.
Well, for you, Chase, you didn't really have a chance last year, so did you expect yourself to be in that mix this early on?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I expect out of myself. I feel like last year I learned a lot, and that's why I kind of just tried to learn towards this year and try and not make those mistakes that I had last year. So I just want to be up here every weekend and racing with these guys. They know what to do, and just trying to learn from them.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right, let's go to Nick.
Thanks, Chris. And Nick Still, Moto Limited Show. Let's go Eli Tomac. Eli, during the week, in the past 2 weeks, has there been, work with the starts? You said you didn't need to get a whole shot. You just need to be up there. And, 2 great starts in the heat races and the main event. Was there something different or just worked on it this week? Or?
Yeah, yes, I have been working on starts. I mean, I've worked on it my whole life, but I've just been more consistent, period. And, I finally have been, bringing my practice starts to the racetrack. That's what I was doing wrong before, is I somehow was a totally different guy come race night. So, now I'm just doing the same thing I do at the practice track.
Awesome. Thanks, Eli.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have my glasses. So, Janie, X Racing Magazine.
Hi, Yanni Hobby, X Racing Magazine. This is for Jason. After Eli passed you when you made a small mistake, it seemed that you were right behind Eli, but then he got a little gap between you guys. What were you thinking at the time? Were you thinking that played safe and take the second place, or did you try to charge?
Yeah, when he was behind me, honestly, I thought his bike was louder, so I thought he was catching me and doing that triple on before the whoops, and I don't even think he did. Did you do it?
No.
No, so I just went for it. And so I thought that's like what I needed to do, and first time I hit it, I over jumped it, and he got by, and then after I was following him, and the pace wasn't too tough for me, but I just was off, and anytime I would try and push it and stuff like that, I would have a mistake that I feel like could honestly have cost me, so I just pushed it enough to be in second, but it's frustrating that I did feel off today because I feel like I still have the speed to go out there and put in a good battle. It'd be cool for us to take it to the last lap and be able to, hopefully put on a show. But tonight I was not able to be that strong.
All right, let's move over to Michael.
Cool. Thank you, Kristen. Jason, for you, Triple Crown next week, hometown race kind of for you in Arizona. Expectations going into that one?
To be honest, I don't really like the Triple Crowns. I think they're like really dangerous because it's like so many of us doing like 3 starts, but for some reason I do pretty good in them. So I like Phoenix. I think the track's long rhythm lanes, dry dirt. Yeah, it's kind of a hometown one for me. It's the Supercross I'd always go to when I was little. So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be cool to go be home and home race, have all the local fans, and I'll be ready for it.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, next up we have Kellen. I was told to call up Kellen.
Yeah. Thanks, Kellen Brower from RacerX. This question's for Jason as well. I was going to ask you about the thought process of going to the 3-3. But you kind of explained it because you thought Eli was doing it. Well, then why did you stick with it after he passed you and maybe you could see ahead and why he wasn't doing it after that?
To be honest, whenever I was out there, I was like, I just felt off, like very notchy, not very, like on it. And the 3-3 was honestly kind of a breather because I could just seat it and I just didn't have to jump one more time. So I would just hit it and a little bit more time to chill in the air and recover, I guess.
Thank you.
Jonathan McCready.
Jonathan McCready, GetDrop.com. Question for Eli. Eli, at the start of the season, the results maybe weren't exactly what you wanted, but you seemed very calm and didn't seem to push the edge. Was there any panic with you or the team, or did you always feel a win and the pace like you had today would come?
I would say there was some panic after Anaheim won. Of course, you come in there thinking, you've got the best stuff and you're feeling really, really great at the practice track, and you normally do, right? And then, but it was kind of a big miss for me there. Starts were terrible. Riding wasn't good in the main for the full distance. So, yeah, I was a little bit worried, but thankfully, got a good group of people around us and made things better.
And just to follow up to that, does this win, the first on the Yamaha, feel extra special compared to wins previously that was maybe more regular and expected on the Kawasaki, just to get that first one on the Yamaha?
Absolutely. It's just it's a new page for me, right? So first one on the Yamaha is totally sweet.
That's great. Thank you. Great ride.
All right, Jamie, and then Jason will wrap it up. But first, Jamie.
Hey, Chase, the track this morning especially appeared to be really, really tacky and good, but then it got pretty slick. Was there any difficulty during the main, because it looked tacky even during the main, to mentally know, like, I got to be a little careful, throttle control, and not just totally go for it?
Yeah, definitely. I think all day it was a little bit dry, obviously, but I feel like it had a little bit more traction. The main event felt a little bit more marbly. We had to steer with the rear a little bit more. But the track was still good. I had fun all day. I think it was a pretty technical track, especially with a good set of whoops and a long rhythm section that was pretty tough. So I think the track's been really good. It was nice to have a long lap time, not so many laps in the main event, obviously, but again, it was gnarly, and it definitely got drier and more marbly as the night went on.
All right, thanks.
And before we go to Jason Wygant, actually, we have a question from Michael Mosman. Or story.
Michael Bozeman, TLD Supercross Racing. My question is for Eli. Eli, you're coming up on 40 wins, quite an accomplishment. You've obviously won a lot. What does celebrating this win look like for you?
For me, it's just like the new year. Like, I mean, the first win of the year. You know, I feel like that one, those always feel really nice, is when you get it in the next season, right?
Is it ice cream? Is it pizza? Like, how do you celebrate?
Hey, tonight was ice cream, man. It's, you know, it's just, you think you're getting older, and you're like, man, am I going to be able to keep winning and keep doing this? So, hell yeah, it felt good.
What flavor?
Mint chocolate chip. That's my flavor.
All right, Jason. Thank you.
That was
I
my
appreciated
question.
that comedic relief.
No, I'm just-
Thank you.
Just kidding. Eli, you've historically gotten better as the season goes on. The first couple rounds aren't always the best, but you were the points lead earlier than ever been. You got a win here. Is this actually the best you feel you started a Supercross championship?
Oh, there was years like where I was riding good, right? But I would crash but yeah, I was crashing, right? Anaheim won the one year. I was leading, wadded up, hurt my shoulder. The other years, whatever, making mistakes. So I've felt good in the past. I was just kind of a mess. This year we've been solid so far. So just, yeah, consistent.
All right. We are going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us, and congratulations to the 450 podium here at A2.